Good day guys, welcome back to the King's class and welcome to a new episode of the King series. We're still looking at logarithm for this series, and in logarithm for today we're looking at 3 questions on the logarithm. For the first question was to find x if 3 raised to power x equals 7.83. Now when you see a question like this, how do you solve? Number 1, I have 3 raised to power x equals what? 7.83. Now this question, is a very similar question to question under Indices, right? Where you have different bases, somewhat so. Now in this case, you have to do what? You have to introduce the logarithm to both sides. Then after which, then you now factorize, and solve. At this point, I have log 3 raised to power x. Automatically, this is in base 10. This is in base 10. Equals to log what? 7.83. X comes to the back as what? X log 3 equals to what? Log what? 7.83. And finally, x becomes what? Log 7.83 divided by what? Log 3. Now, when you punch your calculator for log 7.83, whatever you get divided by what? Log 3. And that will be your value for x. Number 2, and to solve for x, given that what? Log what? 3 raised to power 2x minus 1 equals to, introduce logarithm also. 5 raised to power what? X. Now at this point, what do I have? This becomes what? 2x minus 1 log what? 3 equals to what? X log 5. Now very quickly, log 3 is what? Into that 0. Okay, so I have to get my calculator for this question to get the exact value of log 3. Log 3 is 0.4771. I'm getting it actually. Equals to x times log 5 now gives us what? 0.6989. So at this point, you expand and you get your final answer. Now from here, the power was what? 2x minus 1. So this is what is multiplying log 3. Automatically, I'm going to have this also like this by saying what? 2x times 0.4771 gives me what? 0.9542x, then minus 0.4771 because minus 1 is multiplying this value, and that becomes what? Equals to 0.6989 what? X. On solving, what do I have? Bring this to the left hand side to have what? 0.9542x minus 0.6989x all equals to what? 0.4771. Then by subtracting, what do I have? I have this as what? 0.2553x all equals to 0.4771. And you know what to do here? Divide both sides by what? 0. This. So leave my answer to be what? 0.4771 over 0.2553. Give my answer to be, my x now gives us what? 1.86878 or 1.8688. Now, this is my answer for this. So when you divide this, whatever you get, that's the right answer. This has given me my answer as what? 1.8688. And so on and so forth. So whenever you see questions like this in logarithm, this is what you do. When you see different bases, right, they are basically under Indices. So but what you have to do there is what? Introduce logarithm as I've done, then perform laws of logarithm, indices when needed, and get a final answer. That will be all for today's video.